is a CONORAD alert. Civil defense information will be broadcast at 6:40.
West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Y2K, how can we prepare?
Stop a few of their machines and radios. Throw them into darkness for a few hours.
We are fighting for our lives. My family must survive.
Food for 5 years. 1,000 gallons of gas. Air filtration, water filtration.
Coming at you from the frozen tundra that is East Central Alberta, Canada. Streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble, and Odyssey. Welcome back to the workshop where we create community, find freedom, promote preparedness, and share success. I am Toolman Tim. Today is September the 3rd, 2023, and this is episode 362 of Workshop Radio. Who can believe that it is September the 3rd already? I know it's not like that everywhere, but the leaves are falling where I am already, which I know some of you are like, it's still 100 degrees here. I know, but remember, I live closer to Santa Claus than you guys. So remember, goals for 2023, they are coming. Come and do it at the end of the year. Let's get the announcements out of the way, and then I got my brother Jason from Kentucky Sustainable Living coming on. First off, Sunday evening, our sponsor is Amy Dingman of A Farmer's Kind of Life. Check out what she's doing. All kinds of great things. She just started the new Facebook page. She's kind of splitting things up into the homesteading and the kick you in the ass and motivate you sort of thing. Her podcasts have gotten a lot shorter over the years. So if you're looking for 15 minutes of bite-sized motivation, add A Farmer's Kind of Life to the podcast feeder or player that you use. All right, next Saturday evening. Now I'm going to see if I can show you guys this right here. This was given to me yesterday at my house from Lone Canadian. His name is Kevin, and he is a new member of the workshop community. That it's a whole long story I've kind of told in the background how he found us, but it was just a testament to community. That is going to be one of the giveaways for our 10,000 subscriber special next Saturday evening. Now, we may not actually have made it to 10,000 yet, but I wanted to have the trivia night in person with my wife, with Mrs. Toolman Becky. So we're going to be really close. We might be a couple hundred short, but within a few days, either way. So I'm excited. Come by. You guys voted. It's going to be 80s action films trivia. So come by. We got all kinds of cool prizes. That's just one of them. And finally, guys, if you're coming to Prepper Camp, tickets are all done being on sale by next Sunday, September 10th. Preppercamp.com. Check it out. I will be there, and so will a whole bunch of other people. And with that, let's bring on Brother Jason. Give me a second. Mr. Jason, how are you?
Good. How are you, Tim?
Not too bad at all. I was trying to figure out how we first got to know each other. Was it the Zombie Buck Silver, or was it before that?
Well, we met. Originally, how I found you was when on Spear Coach channel. And then we actually met in person at Self-Reliance Festival.
Yes.
So, and we tried. Every time I came to talk to you, you were talking to somebody else. And I was like, hey, I'm going to catch you in a few minutes. And you're like, okay. And then by the time we were trying to catch each other, we only got like maybe 15 minutes to actually talk to each other. And I was just like, crap. So, but then we finally connected. And then we did the Zombie Bucks.
Which I appreciate. Thank you. I still got them over here in the safe. So thanks. Still working on that set, but that's cool. I was like, I knew we'd talked at an event and I couldn't remember if it was before or after. And those events, I love them, but don't they blur together over time?
They do. You try to figure out. It's like you say the last festival and you're like, which festival? Is that the one in the spring or the fall or what? And it does. It all runs together. And you really wish that they would never end. You're like, man, I wish I had another 2 or 3 days here.
That's how it goes, man. I'm excited. I got a 40-day road trip, just about a 40-day road trip coming up, doing the whole gamut of events. So it's going to be a good time.
Oh yeah.
I forgot to look back before we started. Has it been a full year since you've been on the show or close to it?
It's probably been close to it. So
the way time goes, man. So if you want to fill us in on who you are, what Kentucky Sustainable Living is, the whole works.
I'm Jason Sparks. We've got Kentucky Sustainable Living. We started it around 3 years ago now, and it was me and a bunch of the guys that were friends. We're like, we need to start kind of a community together. We're all like-minded, doing some homesteading stuff, doing some prepping stuff. So we started it together, And we're like, we got to get some way to quote recruit people. So we started a Facebook page and getting people in. We could post stuff there and everything. We've got, I think, about 1,100 members now on the Facebook page, which is amazing. We've got a smaller part of that group of people we actually get to know in person and talk to them, kind of vet them a little bit, make sure that they're a nice person, somebody we'd want to hang out with and invite to our property. With those people, we do training events, educational events. I mean, we'll do everything from doing some ham radio stuff to making soap to butchering animals. We did one class a while back. One of the guys came down and he taught a convoy class for us. He's still active duty military. We did a little bit of slideshows, played Hot Wheels on one of the work tables, showed us how to do all the moves and that kind of stuff. And then we kitted up and got our radios and actually ran a convoy and went and, quote, rescued somebody that was in our convoy. So just the whole gamut of stuff. Whatever you want with the community, I've got somebody that can teach you that. If you're like, hey, I want to learn to make soap, I'm like, okay, we'll figure out. We'll get one of our people that makes soap and have a Saturday class, and somebody will come down and teach everybody how to make soap. If somebody says, hey, I want to do some convoy stuff, I'm like, we'll call Bill. He'll come down and teach a convoy class.
I want to talk about that in a minute. I want to slide back for a sec. So when you started, you said, you know, you have a bigger group. You've got the Facebook page.
Yeah.
And you got your kind of next size down. But those fellers, those folks, you got to vet them a little bit before you kind of let them into the circle. How do you do that? What do you do to decide that somebody's, you know, worthy of being in the community and not a Fed or something?
We've got an application that you fill out. It's an online application. It's kind of, you know, there's no, some people bow up and they're like, I'm not giving you my social security number. And I'm like, you didn't read the stinking application because I didn't ask for that crap. So right there, you it's kind of a disqualifier. If you can't read the crap, don't waste my time with it. But it's real simple stuff. Your name, your birth date, where you live, what you're wanting to get from the community, what you can offer, you know, not necessarily, you know, if somebody says, hey, I'm a retired military guy, I know how to weld, I've got a 20-acre homestead, I'm doing this, and it's that kind of stuff, how active you want to be in the group. So we run a quick little background check on them just to make sure they kind of say who they're going to be. Mm-hmm. Make sure, and like my shirt, make sure they're not a pedophile or any sexual offender kind of thing. I mean, that's a no-go period. If you're on any kind of list like that, we're not going to let you in because we have people at our houses, and I want good quality people coming to my house. So we do that, and then usually we have a phone or a video conversation with that person, and so they know who we kind of see them in person. You can pick cues up from talking to people like that. Mm-hmm. And then if there's something weird going on that way, I'll have somebody else. We'll do another video call with somebody else. So that's kind of the way we do it. Generally, most of the time, everybody's fine to go. You know, we haven't had any problems. We had one kid, he was a younger kid and wanted to spout his mouth off about a bunch of stuff. And I gave him some warnings on some stuff, and he kept doing it. And I'm like, you're gone, buddy. You know, we decided to kick him out of the group. I was like, I'm not going to have you talking about stuff like that in our group. And we just punched him out. Good. That's tough, but that's good, man. Like that's you're better off just cutting your losses early on, you know? Yeah. And a lot of the people will cut they'll weed themselves out. It's the doers. Yeah, the doers are the people that I want, you know, that I can call up and say, hey, let's get this done, or we're doing a butchering class on Saturday. Who wants to come? I'll shoot the invite out to everybody in the group, and you'll have maybe 10 people show up. And it's like, God, you know, we've got 180 some people in this smaller group, and 10 people showed up. So
then you get that inner circle too, then the people that you can really rely on. Yeah. I was putting fence up yesterday. We're stringing high tensile fence, and I called one of the guys, and he had told me before, if you need anything, let me know.
So I texted him the night before. I'm like, hey, do you want to come help for a little bit? He goes, yeah, I'll be down about noon. So he hung out about 5 hours, and he helped me put some fence up. And then he was like, hey, can you help me put one of my deer blinds together? And I was like, yeah. I said, I'll tell you my schedule, and if you can work it in, well, I'll come up and help you put a deer blind together. So
Nice.
it's stuff like that. Shelly from Two Old Crows Homestead is gotten to be one of my great friends. With that, this coming up Friday, we're going to butcher 2 pigs at her house Friday night.
Nice.
So she called me and asked me, she was like, do you think we'll have time to do it on Friday or this week with the temperature? And I said, if we can do it at night, it's going to be cooled down, and we can do that.
So let's I never know what to call it. GZDR for Ev. This is over on Twitch, and they want to know, are you guys a community that's building to live off the grid, or what's the idea behind Kentucky sustainable living?
The ideal is it started all just Kentucky residents, but it's kind of grown. It's almost to be prepared for whatever's going to come down the pipe. We're not going to live totally off grid. Nobody's going to live 100% total sustainable. TAG talks about that a lot. Taking your factors down as low as you can. So it's just mitigating how much risk you've got. But it's having a close knit group of people that you can count on and trade with. Like Shelly and I. Shelly wants to start raising sheep, so I'm trading her a couple lambs for a pig. So we're doing that. It's not essentially living off grid, but it's getting more prepared for what's coming down the pipe and being as prepared as you can. Yes, I would love to live off grid totally, but where I'm at right now and financially, it would be a buku of money to go totally off grid right now.
So you guys are building kind of a mutual assistance group with a whole bunch of people that hopefully you've got enough knowledge and skills and trades amongst everybody that you could kind of create your own circular economy in there. Hey.
Yeah. And we've got a sheet, a Google, an online sheet that, and we need to take more advantage of it. We just don't use it as much as we should. But if you've got something that you're selling, if you make soap, you can put on there, I'm making soap, and then you can trade, say, I want to trade soap I'm looking for some chickens. And so if somebody's got chickens, they can come on and say, well, I'll trade you so many chickens for so many bars of soap. Or I've got piglets that'll be born, August 31st or whatever. And then we can trade amongst people and do stuff like that. And people always post in our forum that we've got. They're like, hey, I've got these pigs that'll be ready at such and such date. And then you can contact them and say, hey, I want some of your pigs. And it's trading between each other and doing business with the members as opposed to throwing your money to somebody you really don't know.
I don't know. So GZ asked, had you ever visited Amish country in PA to get ideas from them or establish trade? You're a little ways from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, we're probably 8 hours away. So,
but you've got some.
We've got a lot of Amish around here and a lot of Mennonite also.
And they're all. I mean, we've got Hutterites around here, and they crack me up, but they're a rougher version of the same thing. I love them. They're just, they crack me up. But I mean, there's groups here that I can get chickens from, groups I can get carrots from, groups you can get grain from. Each one of them have their kind of specialty, and they're just another, what do you want to call it? A kind of another feather, in the quiver or whatever that you can pull from and trade with. And I mean, they're practically off the grid anyway.
Oh yeah.
Backwoods says it's the way it should be. I'm trading some roof work for a pig and half a cow.
Yeah.
And I did snow removal last winter for a local butcher and got a side of beef out of it. So that's what we do, right? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and then you take the middleman out of it.
Yeah, the middleman that likes to take his cut on the way around,
Oh, yeah, exactly. I would just soon trade with somebody is do that, because then you take the whole middleman out.
I had somebody, I don't even remember what forum it was in earlier today, and they said, what did you think the currency would be in a collapse scenario? And I said barter. And they were like, oh, yeah, that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Because really, when it comes down to it, you're going to exchange one need for another, So if the only thing I'm willing to trade for in a bad scenario is something I need, I can't eat silver or gold, and if I got a surplus of chickens, I'm not going to trade for more chicken, right?
Yeah.
So in the last 12 months, I keep hearing rumblings from you of different events and different trainings you've had. What ones have you had this year?
So we've done a lot of butchering classes. We've put up, and the butchering classes are pretty good. Everybody likes doing that. We butchered 5 pigs here at my house, 1 beef. We butchered a full cow. We've done it's a homestead security class that one of our guys puts on kind of how to secure your homestead, stuff to look for, stuff like that as far as setting up LPOPs, your listening observation post, stuff like that. We've done a convoy class with one of our guys. He came down and taught that. We've done two food forest classes to where we planted a massive food forest about this time last year, or a little bit later. It's been almost a year ago. Planted a massive food forest at my house. And then this spring, we did a smaller, just an addition onto it.
Okay. You guys did a first aid course too?
Yes, Chuck Peoples came down and taught he taught a 2-day homestead medical class, and it was freaking amazing. I was surprised, and I've been to medical classes before, and I'm like, I wonder what Chuck's going to do. It's going to be different, but it blew my mind on it. Shelly was like that. She said, I was skeptical about spending that much money on it. She said, but it was worth twice as much.
Oh, I'm not going to get to his this year at Self-Reliance. I don't think, I'm sure I can't, because I think it's anyway, but I've got to take one of Chuck's courses. He's just, he's a good dude. He switched on, he knows his stuff. So. Oh
yeah. And he built it as, an 8-hour class, two 8-hour days. But we were down here 10 to 11 hours a day doing stuff.
Nice.
And nobody was bored. And he asked me, he was like, I've got a little bit of PowerPoint that I need to do. And I'm like, okay. So I drug a TV down here. It literally took us longer to get the TV ready to go than it did to watch the PowerPoint. And I'm like, okay.
I know that I'm doing a little PowerPoint at Prepper Camp this year. And it's the first time I've ever done PowerPoint at an event, because I think sometimes a person can just rely on PowerPoint and it doesn't, you know what I mean? It's not real effective. You're basically just reading a paper at that point, right?
Yeah.
And, just wanted to shout out to Tag. Speaking of living free, there's another brother there. I believe him and I are co-MC in Self-Reliance, so we should have a good time this time. Dog Creek said great class with Chuck. So what? Can you
Jake.
Go ahead.
Was there. Jake with Dog Creek Farms is in Kentucky Sustainable Living. He was down here for the medical class. He came and took it with Chuck.
The convoy class. Can you talk a little more about that without giving everything away? That sounds like I'm kind of interested in that one.
One of our members is still active duty military. He trains a lot of special forces guys.
Okay.
And does stuff like that. So he's still active duty. And I was talking to him. He was like, what's a class that you would like to do? And I'm like, what if and I was talking to him. I'm like, we're going to have to travel different times. And I was like, a convoy class would be neat. And he's like, I've got a convoy class that I actually teach already. And I was like, come down and do that. And I kind of planned it. I'm like, let's work in the radio stuff and everything. We originally had it planned is the grid. It was a grid down situation. One of our members that lives about 25 miles away, him and I have radio contact with each other. Okay. We were going to do it. He was going to call me on the radio. He was going to say, hey, we've got a medical situation. We need your medic to come and look at one of our people. So we were going to take a convoy over there. Chuck and Chase Peoples were going to come down. We're going to have the scenario of we were taking a convoy to Joe's house and go down there, keep radio contact as we went, take Route A down there, pretend to do some medical assessments, hang out for a little while, teach a little bit of medical stuff Chuck was going to do, and then come back a different direction.
Okay.
It ended up we couldn't do it because my friend was busy with work, and Chuck actually threw his back out like 3 days before. So spur of the moment, we're like, let's just go ahead, teach the convoy class. We'll take a convoy class to another farm and just do it. So we took a convoy class to my uncle's farm, set up a mock scenario of saving somebody, putting a tourniquet on them, bandaging them up, putting them in the truck and leaving, as smoke grenades and simunition rounds were shot at us.
Yes, sir.
So there's a video of it where we're rolling through. The teacher, Fort Bill, threw smoke grenades out. So there's smoke grenades. We don't know what's going on. Simunition rounds are going off and everything. And it really it's all fake, but your heart still gets pumping, and you're trying to treat the wounded individual, putting a tourniquet on them. And they're saying, oh, my head hurts too. My head hurts. So you got to figure out what's wrong with them, get them in the truck. So I ended up picking her up, just throwing her over my shoulder, throwing her in the truck. She's pretending like she's trying to get out. And I'm like, it's me. I'm one of the good guys. So I have to throw her in the truck, close the door, and then we scoot out and head back home.
So Tori just kind of want to know what a convoy, and basically it's just traveling together in a group of vehicles safely and kind of navigating that sort of thing, right, Jason? Yeah. And just protocols, just we had 3 vehicles in this convoy, and what'll happen, it's more of a military, we took it from the military aspect of what you'll do, stay in radio contact with each other. Usually, if you can, stay within sight of each other also. And he did, we had a lot of PowerPoint slides, and then we actually he had little pieces of Hot Wheel track that we could set up in little Hot Wheels on the table. And he would show us, if you come under an ambush or you come up to a stop, the lead vehicle goes over to the left and the other vehicle goes to the right, and you set it up to where you can get out of there if you're actually ambushed and stuff like that. Oh. It was a fun class. I'm down your way the next time you happen to do one of those. I'd be all about that. So GZ said, when it came to butchering class, has anything changed post-pandemic where the practices of gloves, hand sanitizers, masks are already a part of the community? Is that something yeah.
We don't play that game.
That's what I was thinking. Now,
the only thing that comes in is the gloves, just because especially when you're dealing with it, when we're skinning, we'll wear gloves most of the time. And I wear gloves when I'm butchering the meat, just because if you have to go do something else, you can just pull your glove off and your hands are clean.
Sure.
So you don't have to worry about, and especially in the class situation, I'm doing other stuff, or we're videoing a lot of the times, videoing the classes. So it's like, I don't want to have to go wash my hands to set up the camera. So I can rip my gloves off and I've got clean hands to move a camera, answer my phone, or do something like that. And then just slap a new pair of gloves back on. But we did that way before COVID anyway.
I was going to say, I'll get Kyle's in here in the group tonight. I'll get him to chime in too. But here's my opinion on the thing. If you were practicing proper sanitization techniques before COVID with meat, then yeah. And if you weren't, you probably shouldn't be doing it now. That's my kind of guess. So I think if you're clean and you're washing your hands, or you're wearing gloves and swapping out, you're doing pretty good, I think.
Yeah. And like I said, the whole glove deal is just so you can have clean hands if you need to do something else without washing your hands 100 times a day. Because there's Bruce. Bruce is Leather Homestead. Bruce DeVries.
Oh, yes. Okay. I know the name now. Yeah, yeah. He's going to be at your event.
He'll be at SRF, and he'll be at our event too.
Lone Canadian says, when I butcher, gloves don't help that much. I'm usually blood up to my elbow. That's the dude right there that made this knife. So he's new, nearby us, or nearby me. And we'll shout out to Mike, the Filipino nomad. Always good to have him in here. There's a good crowd tonight. So what else what have you been up to this year, as far as any new skills you've learned, or how's the business going?
The business is going good. I'm remodeling a house right now, pretty much a full remodel. We're going to start on the kitchen here in another week or so, and I've been busy with that. Been busy with the farm, trying to get everything done. I picked up a new. The neighbor's got like 3 to 4 acres in front of me, and he told me the other day, he's like, if you want to run your sheep over there, just fence it off and run them. So I'm like, sweet. I've got 3 to 4 acres for free, no lease or nothing. And all I got to do is spend a few $100 on putting some temporary fence up. So.
And what kind of business do you run for those who have?
It's a general contracting business. So we do mostly remodeling work. Kitchens and bathrooms is what I like to do. We'll do a lot of paint work. And for some reason I get stuck. One of the big.
That's Tag. Yeah, go ahead. Tag says, Jason, give him a holler sometime. I have a few questions.
But yeah, and for some reason, one of the big plumbing outfits calls me to patch drywall behind them. So
nothing wrong with that.
No, and you can make. It's been a year or so ago. One of the hotels in 2 months, I gave them over a $12,000 bill for patching drywall at a hotel.
Did you say in 2 months?
Yeah, in 2 months. So $6,000 a month for patching drywall.
There ain't much in the way of materials in that either, is it?
No,
sir. Good for you, brother.
Yeah, and I mean, they call me. This place has got leaks all the time, and they're constantly like, "Hey," and I told them, I'm like, save up like 2 or 3 rooms. I was like, I hate coming in and doing one room at a time, but I'll do it. Sure. But yeah, I mean, so doing stuff like that. So I wound up patching drywall a lot, and then of course that leads into painting the whole ceiling and stuff like that. So I do a lot of paint work. I do like painting. Most people are like, I hate to paint, but I enjoy painting.
I do too. I don't know. It is, you either love it or hate it. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
I had a company send me an electric sprayer just the other day. I've never used a sprayer before, so we'll see how that goes. But anyway,
is it an airless sprayer?
I haven't even looked at it. It's still in the box. I'll let you know.
Oh, I've got 3 airless sprayers, and I absolutely love spraying stuff. And I kind of fell in. And it's dropped off now a little bit, fell into a little niche of redoing cabinets for people.
Oh, okay.
And these people would have a house with built-in, remember the built-in cabinets where they build them into the house?
Sure do.
They just did like a plywood door. Mm-hmm. And the lady, back in the 70s, that was the greatest thing in the world. So this lady has lived at this house for, 40 years, and she was like, I want white raised panel doors for my kitchen. So I would go in there, we would build new raised panel doors for her. I would spray all those in the shop and do a factory finish in the shop on the raised panel doors, come in and paint all her frames. So the frames look brand new, all the bases and everything looked brand new. And then she had brand new doors with soft close hinges, new drawer fronts, and then she would want a new backsplash and granite countertops. So we could do almost a kitchen remodel to where it looked pretty much brand new for half the money is ripping everything out.
Man, I should hire you to come up here and do that for my wife. She's been at me for about 3 years, so.
Get good with your sprayer and you can spray all that stuff.
That's true. I got to learn. That's all it is. I just wanted to shout out Mrs. Lone Canadian as well, Appaloosa Jones. Good to have you. And GRZ or GZDR said, because you're working with wood, are there any fire training classes or any plans for them? And also, is your water, what's your water supply like? Do you separate water used to put out fires from drinking water, that sort of thing? Yeah, go ahead. You don't have to be super specific. You can be as whatever you want.
We hadn't done anything with fire stuff, really. I'm on city water here. And actually, when we ran the line up here, I've got monster water pressure at my place. We ran a 2-inch water line off the main.
Nice.
So I can, down there, when I hook a hose up, I can shoot damn near 100 feet from a garden hose. So, I mean, we got that. As far as any off-grid water, we've got at my shop, I've got a bathroom in my shop that's totally off-grid that runs off rainwater. And it's just got a 12-volt RV pump that circulates the water. And it's filtered, so we run it through ceramic filters so you can drink it. take a shower, do whatever you want to with that. And we've got 12 totes set up on the shop. So 12 275-gallon totes.
That's rainwater catchment?
Yeah, that's rainwater catchment.
Yes, sir. As we're talking about this, I'm thinking there's I think there's a bit of a need for somebody to run a homestead firefighting course.
That would be a pretty good deal. I know Southern Prepper 1 has done a bunch on fire stuff.
Okay. I'll have to check. Thank you. I'll have to look into him too. That would be really good. That's one area there. I had a guy lined up. I had George Siegel on a while back who did a documentary on the hurricanes down in Florida.
Yeah.
And he put me in touch with a guy who does some incredible custom fire suppression systems, but I haven't been able to get him to come on yet. So I got to follow up with him. That would be, but yeah, I'll have to follow up with Southern Prepper because
I know Southern Prepper 1 did a video. He had some 275-gallon totes set up on a hill away from his house and had some kind of like Pelican box that had a 12-volt battery and a 12-volt pump with hoses to where he could go in there in an emergency, hook the 12-volt pump up, and then have a garden hose where he could have water to suppress a fire.
Well, so see, we just made some money for Chuck again, didn't we?
Yeah.
He just said I could come up with something, and I bet he could.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
There you go, Chuck. You need to teach a course on homestead firefighting.
Yeah.
And GZ said, sorry to bring up fire and bad things. I was thinking about the people in Maui and how they could have used either the training or a backup system.
Yeah.
100%. No, we don't mind answering these questions. That's that is real good. And Gingerbread said, out here we have ponds that the fire trucks can draft from.
Yeah.
That's another benefit of having stored or, sitting water on your property for sure. And a lot of the farmers around here do a ton of that, with manifolds and IBC totes and trailers. It's not hard. You just got to have a plan for it ahead of time.
Yeah. And you really, too, got to think about how much water you're going to need to put out a fire.
100%. So, more than you think, probably.
Oh, a 275-gallon tank is going to be drained in no time flat.
Absolutely. So you've been picking my brain a few times over the last year or so. How's your content creation journey going? Or maybe I should back it up. Let's try, how is your monetizing this entire lifestyle thing going for you?
YouTube is a grind, and you're never, unless you've got a channel with 500,000 subscribers, you're never going to make any real money off YouTube. And we've talked about it. It's kind of diversifying a lot of stuff, yes, and diversifying and contracting too. Unless you're a super specialty dude, you've got to stay in that one little niche in contracting, as opposed to doing a lot of different stuff. Now, and there's stuff that I have no idea about how to do on things, and I just stay out of that. I subcontract it out. But and YouTube could scrub me at any time. I don't say anything too controversial, but you could get scrubbed at any time and wake up and be like, oh, all my ad revenue's gone from YouTube. So you kind of got to have a backup plan. We've kind of started, Shelly and I, with Two Old Crows Homestead, we're going to start offering more classes and educational opportunities because there's tons of people that want to learn stuff. Sure. So I've sold some T-shirts, so I'm kind of getting in the T-shirt game. So we're gonna sell some T-shirts and stuff like that. I've got a Compost Pedophiles T-shirt out right now that's got a wood chipper on it. And we've got another one that's going to come out about that. We're selling our T-shirts for Kentucky Sustainable Living. We got a website for that. But Shelly and I are going to start teaching butchering classes this fall and winter after our festival. We're going to do butchering classes. We're going to host Chuck with Homestead Medical. Chuck's going to come down and teach some medical classes in Bowling Green. Okay. We've got some other radio classes and stuff like that we're kind of spreading out because people want to come and learn. So we're going to kind of we're moving KSL more towards an educational entity is what it's going to be. So where we can teach these people.
I mean, just talking to you even a year ago, I think that was, even if you didn't realize it at the moment, that seems to be your passion, and that seems to be where you're at. I mean, you've got kind of fingers into a whole bunch of people here that smart, switched on people that can really teach, you know?
Yeah. And I do. I like, compost the enemies. David the Good has that shirt. It says "Compost your enemies."
Oh, okay.
He did that. I saw that the other day. But the educational stuff. I enjoy butchering animals and showing people how to do it, because people are really nervous about it, to take a 300-pound pig, and they're like, "Where do I start?" So guys come down and I show them how to do it, and they're like, "That's not that hard at all." And I'm like, "No, it's not that hard." And I tell them the worst thing you're going to wind up with is a bunch of ground pork if you screw something up. If you don't cut those pork chops perfect, who cares? You know, you're not selling it at the grocery store. You and your family are eating it. So if that pork chop is kind of janked up, it's still going to taste as good as one that was cut professionally.
It's true. I back in the mid 90s, I used to teach people at the local library how to use the internet, you know, and people always used to be scared to death that they were going to, like, I don't know, hack into the CIA or blow the computer up or something. I said, the worst thing you're going to do, I said, is restart the computer. You got nothing to worry about, you know, just, be used to, you know, just be cool with frigging up and enjoy the process, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, what we teach people as far as doing the food forest, we've done 2 food forest classes. Billy did a plant guild class down at John's place at SOE. Mm-hmm. I went to it, paid on, figure out how to do it, got the literature, and we taught a couple classes up here. I still am not an expert on it, but we have got strawberries, I mean, just taking over the whole place. And I'm like, I did what he told me to do. It's nothing special. I can show you how to plant this stuff. In worst case, you kill a bunch of strawberries and try it again next year. So,
how's your? You've been doing a fairly regular live stream?
We've been doing every Friday. We've been doing a festival live with one of our guests. They're going to be here. I need to start it. Sometimes it gets hectic. We've got baseball and everything else, so it's kind of hard to pin down. I need to start doing a live stream every week, and hopefully after the festival, we will start doing a live stream every week. And Shelly and I have thought about doing a podcast together. Okay. We just hadn't done that yet. So it's in the planning stages.
It's fun. Becky and I have turned the Friday night into our night, the two of us, and it's nice because it opens it up to the female audience as well, you know, and I like it a lot. I spend so much time in the office working on content and talking to this little webcam here that it's kind of nice to share an evening with my missus and do it. So you won't regret it. You guys will have fun doing it.
Yeah. And Shelly and I have thought about doing it, recording it and doing it 2 days a week and then putting it up. And but we just hadn't had time to get together. She lives about an hour and 15 minutes from me. So we're going to have to dedicate 2 days to do that. And we hadn't decided exactly what we want to cover on it. We'll probably cover some current events and some stuff we're doing at each one of our homesteads and stuff like that.
Gingerbread said all the girls are here to see me. Yeah, you know how it is. So your big thing this year is you guys have your Kentucky Sustainable Living Festival. Did I get that right?
Yeah. It's a Kentucky Sustainable Living Homesteading and Preparedness Festival. Is the big technical term for it. How's
that coming along? So where did you start? How'd the idea come up? And how's that process coming along?
I talked to Billy. Billy, we were on a live. Shelly with Two Old Crows Homestead and I were on a live with Billy. And Billy is like, y'all need to do a festival in Kentucky.
Okay.
And I laughed at him. I'm like, you're right. We ain't got time to do that crap. I was like, we ain't got nowhere to do it. Forget it. I was like, that's a funny joke, Billy. So the seed was planted then. And then at the last SRF, Shelly and Jake from Dog Creek Farms, we were sitting there and we're like, what if we did a festival? And then Tag came strolling along and I asked Tag, I'm like, hey, if we do a festival, will you come to it? He was like, you're damn right, I will. And I'm like, cool, I'm going to hold your feet to the fire on it. So we took it from there, and we talked about it a little bit. And we're like, we've got to find somewhere to do this and everything. So I started looking for a place to have it. We found an awesome venue to have it. And I talked to Shelly and Jake, and I'm like, let's just do this. And if it flops, oh, well, we tried it. You know, it's better to say you tried and failed than just wonder in the back of your minds, you know, I could have done this. So we set everything up. The hardest part was setting up the stupid bank accounts and stuff like that. As far as, you know, if you're going to take money and you don't want to run it through your personal account, because then the taxes get all screwed up. So I'm like, let's just open a business account. And it's been my business account that I've had my business account for my contracting business since 2002. Okay. So 21 years. 21 years ago, you could go in there and say, hey, I'm Joe Blow Contracting. I need to open up a bank account. And they're like, cool, we'll mail your checks to you. Here's your new account number. Now, to open it up, it's like, it's ridiculous. It took me a week to get the LLC set up, to get the bank account, all your information. I'm like, it's taking longer to get a bank account and a checking account than it is to set this whole stupid festival up. So,
yep.
That all the red tape to go through. So we set it up, found a great venue, and I'm like, let's start finding people to come speak. And actually, I'm already booking people. We have not had our first event, and I've already got people emailing me to wanting to come to the next one and speak.
Nice. That's what you want.
I'm like, I'm like, this is going to go over. We're going to actually do this.
So who do you got coming?
We've got Tag will be there. Bobby Spags will be there with EMP Shield, and Data's going to be with him. We've got, and I know I'm going to miss some people.
That's
Billy from Permapastures will be there. Aaron T. Scott. Are you familiar with Aaron T. Scott?
I am not.
You need to look her up. It's the real Aaron T. Scott on YouTube. Okay. She's going to be there. We've got Emily Rock. Emily does Homestead Dairy Cows. Okay. So she's going to be there. Billy from Permapastures is going to be there. Grumpy Acres will be there. Darren and Patty from Hacks for the Homestead will be there. I know I'm going to miss a bunch of people. Chuck with Homestead Medical will be there. Eric from Porterhouse and Teal is going to be there.
That's a drive for him.
Yeah. So he's actually going to fly this time. I don't think he's going to drive on this.
Okay. I get it. Yeah, I get it.
Oh, yeah. Who else is going to be there? I'll think of some more people. Jeff Smith, Everyday Prepper, will be there. I know there's Jake Drum from Drum Emergency Medical will be there.
Jake's good shit. I like Jake a lot. We hung out at Prepper Camp last year.
Yeah, I like Jake a lot. There's going to be a lot of other people speaking. We've got 2 full days of speakers. We're going to run 2 speakers at a time in 2 different areas, and we've got 2 full days of speakers. Everything from medical stuff to bug out bags to old tools. Jeff Smith is coming to show you how to buy older tools like crosscut saws and how to sharpen and set the teeth on them and stuff like that.
Oh, that's that's cool. So what are you charging for that?
Admission is free to get in. So it costs you absolutely nothing to come in the doors.
So how are you funding this, Jason?
Sponsors. We've got a lot of great sponsors that are sponsoring the event. And we've got our sponsors, then we've got our vendors. So everything is inside in an arena, climate controlled arena. Kentucky, at the end of October in Kentucky, you don't know if it's going to be 32 degrees or if it's going to be 65 degrees. So, I mean, it could be either one. I mean, on Halloween, there's been times in Halloween where we've had our North Face jackets on freezing to death. And then there's been times where you've been in shorts and flip flops. So everything's inside in a climate controlled area. Our vendors, we've got vendors all the way from, we've got a greenhouse company coming in from Michigan. We've got a shed company coming in. Bobcat Bowling Green has sponsored the event too, so they're going to have tractors and Bobcat stuff like that there. We've got people that are going to make soap. We've got custom knife makers coming in.
Nice.
Just pretty much anything you need for the homestead and preparedness stuff. Grumpy will be there with freeze-dried food, selling it.
So what's your goal from this first event? Because I've talked to a lot of people that run a lot of events, and I like to hear that. So what do you want to see happen out of this?
I want to see it happen to a spring and a fall event every year, and get a following of people that are like, hey, I want to come to this and meet people and educational experience, and also to meet people that are like-minded in your area. So, I mean, we're not just billing it as a Kentucky show. We've got people coming from Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, Tennessee. Grumpy and them's coming from Kansas. Eric's coming in from California. So Billy's coming in from North Carolina. So I want it to be more of a regional show, not just a Bowling Green and Kentucky thing.
So what are the classes that you're running?
Yes, the Chuck. We've got Chuck is teaching on Friday. Chuck is teaching a homestead medical class on Friday. It's a paid class. You can sign up on the website. But Chuck will be doing homestead medical class, dealing with more long-term care, not the cool ninja stuff. He'll teach you the cool ninja stuff, but most of it is going to be medicine that you're going to use and medical stuff you'll use on the homestead, wound care, stuff like that, antibiotics. Eric from Porterhouse and Teal is teaching a guild planting class. So we're going to go out and actually plant a small, like 3 tree guilds, which after each guild, as you plant guilds, it turns into a food forest. So he's going to teach some of the classroom stuff, and then we're actually going to go out and plant the tree guild, plant the fruit trees, and then plant all the accompanying plants around those fruit trees.
Is there a cost for Porterhouse's course?
Yeah, there's a cost for it.
Okay.
There's a cost for it. The cost in both those classes includes lunch. So it's an all-day class, like an 8-hour class. So lunch is included in there. Chuck is also teaching on Sunday a Stop the Bleed class, which is about a 3 to 4 hour class.
Nice.
And,
okay.
And you have to sign up for it. It's all on the website. You can sign up and do that there. But we need to know ahead of time. We might have a spot or two for somebody that day. If somebody shows up on Friday, first thing is like, hey, I couldn't sign up, I want to take it. We might have a spot for you. We're not 100% sure, though.
And what will you be doing at the event?
I'm probably going to be running around helping organize everything. I'm going to get somebody to record all the speaking engagements, and then Monday when I settle down, I'm probably going to watch videos all day of everybody that was speaking.
Nice.
So, and then also probably the thing I'm most excited about, Saturday night, we're doing a charity dinner for Vets for Child Rescue.
Okay.
And Billy with Permapastures is a big guy for Vets for Child Rescue. That's where I found out about Vets for Child Rescue. So I'm like, I wanted to do kind of a VIP dinner to where all our speakers could come and sit down. You could buy tickets and get some one-on-one time with them. And I'm like, let's turn it into a charity dinner. So I'm like, let's do Vets for Child Rescue. So I emailed Vets for Child Rescue, finally got a phone number, talked to one of the ladies, and I'm like, I want to do a charity dinner for y'all. And she goes, what do you need? And I said, I need permission to use your logo and a place to send the check to. And she was like, there's got to be a hitch. What else do you need? And I said, I need permission to use your logo and a place to send a check to. That's all I need. She goes, let me get you in contact with Forrest. He runs all the business and administrative part for it. So Forrest Seeley called me. We've gotten to be good friends. Never met in person yet, but talked all kinds of times on the phone. And we talked about it. We've done some lives with Forrest. So we're doing a charity dinner that all the proceeds go to Vets for Child Rescue. We've got several items right now that we're going to do a silent auction for it. Tickets, and this will tell you, I'll be totally transparent on how much money. if we can raise $10,000 for Vets for Child Rescue, they will come to Kentucky and catch these child molesters and put their ass in jail. Nice. So my goal is to raise $10,000 so they can come to my community and bust these scum suckers off the face of the earth. Is what I'm looking for.
Do you know what you're having at the meal yet for everybody? So in case anybody's interested, or do you know what the cost, or do you have a cost set?
Well, it's prime rib dinner is what we're having.
Nice.
So, but yeah, tickets are $250 a person is what they are. $200 of that goes to Vets for Child Rescue. The $50 of it is to pay for the meal and the administrative of renting the room. So we are not making, honest to goodness, we're probably going to lose a little bit of money on the event. But I'm not making a dime on that charity dinner. Every bit of money that we get for that, it goes straight for Vets for Child Rescue.
I know I've spent more than $50 alone just for a prime rib dinner. So if you make it, you're not even going to break even on that, are you?
No, but essentially out of the $250, $200 will go to Vets for Child Rescue. And then the other $50 is for the dinner and renting the room. So, and where is it, the event? It's at the same place. It's in Bowling Green. Okay. It's at the college, the local college here has their farm and their expo center. Mm-hmm. And they've got banquet rooms and stuff like that. So everybody will be at the festival Saturday, and then after the festival shuts down, then we're just going to go upstairs to their banquet room and have dinner. Whoever's coming to the charity dinner. And you might have said it, but what dates is the event again? The classes are Friday, October 27th, and then the festival is October 28th and 29th. That's Saturday and Sunday. Okay. And Chuck said his class on Friday, you'll go home with something I will debut at the festival, plus Sunday's class, you go home with a Cat Gen 7 tourniquet. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. Do you remember the price of those courses offhand or not? If you don't, it's okay. I think Chuck's Friday class is $250, and then I think his Stop the Bleed class is about $150. I'd pay $250 just to hang out with Chuck, let alone pick his brain and learn something. So ain't nothing wrong with that. Oh, Chuck pays me $250 to hang out with me. So well, that's all right. Eddie, have you made any mistakes along the way with this, or have you? What have you learned so far doing it, other than the pain in the ass the banking system is now? Shelly gets on to me. Shelly's making the schedule for speakers, and I asked her the other day. I was like, "Do we have any room for more speakers?" And she was like, "I don't think so." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm going to find one more person then." and she gets mad. She'll send me a text. She's like, "We do not have room for more speakers," and I'm like, Shelly, we've got this one lady that wants to speak, and she gets mad. She's like, okay, I'll figure out a way to get them in there then. So, and when I go, it's balls to the wall on stuff. It's like, we're either going to do this right or just not do it. So I'm finding it. And Shelly, the arena, we took the arena, laid it out on CAD for the vendor spaces. And I said, Shelly, tell me how many vendor spaces we've got. And she's like, okay. So I'll constantly ask her, I'm like, how many more vendor spaces do we have? And she's like, I think we've got 3 vendor spaces left. And I'm like, cool, I'm going to go find 3 more people then. Nice. So, and I think we got 56 vendor spots is what we've got. And we've got, I think, 53 of those filled up right now. Man, and you've got plans of doing another one, don't you? Yes, we're going to do one in the spring and the fall every year. And we're working with Midwest Preparedness and working with Self-Reliance Festival, and we're all promoting each other. And I think Spags is calling it the Great American Preparedness Tour. So I like that. So if you come, and we're going to do a promo about it. And essentially, if you come to all 3 events, you're going to get a special prize at the end of it. I like that a lot. So, yeah, but we're all promoting each other. I want to do a spring and a fall event every year and just turn it into something big. So what are your goals for the next 12 months? Well, going into 2024, what do you want to accomplish between KSL and the whole shebang? I want to survive this first event is what I want to do and not be just worn out. I'm already planning taking Monday after the event off. I'm like, I'm just going to have a day to decompress and relax. I don't know. The next in 2024, honestly, I don't know. I don't know what just keep being more prepared for what's coming down the pike. As self-sufficient as you can. You can't put your life on hold and be like, yeah, in 3 months the shit's just going to be done, so I might as well not go get this kitchen remodel that this lady wants to do. I hate to tell her in 3 months we're going to be, up to our neck in NATO troops or whatever is going to happen. So you still got to keep on living, but just keep getting more prepared for that. Keep doing what you're doing, but just keep focusing on the preparedness aspect and being as self-sufficient as you can. So mine's just to keep on trucking along, keep everything going at my place and my small homestead and keep improving it. I need to get some more solar stuff set up. That's one of my big goals, is to get that done.
What do you want to get done for solar, Jason?
I've got solar panels sitting here and everything's set and ready to go. I've just not installed it yet.
You should get in contact with Sean Mills and have him out to do some solar stuff with you.
Sean's going to be at the festival. He's one of our sponsors for the festival.
So well, there we go.
So turn it into a game, how free I can get. Exactly. So get as free as you can. I've had, like, my studio, I built a little office down in my shop, and this is where I do my lives and stuff like that. We're running the lights I've got right now and my ceiling fan are all running off 12 volts.
Nice.
So we're running off a 12-volt marine battery now, and I went ahead and wired it in to where when I put the solar, I can have it. So if it's a grid down situation, at least down here in my office, my office and my bathroom are down here together. This is going to be the medical clinic. So for the place, to where we can, if we have somebody that's sick, we can quarantine them down here. We've still got 12-volt stuff to where we can have lights and some air circulation for the clinic. And Chuck and I have been talking extensively about a medical clinic at my place. So we've got big ideas for it, but it's just a matter of hooking the solar panels up, and I've got the inverters and all that stuff sitting there. It's just I hadn't wired everything up yet.
The more I use solar, the more I love it. It's not the only solution, but my goodness, I don't care what you are, no matter what generator you have, you're going to run out of fuel for your generator eventually.
Yeah.
But you can throw a bunch of solar panels up there, and short of a hailstorm or some crackhead stealing them, you probably got good power until your batteries die in 10 or 20 years if you're being careful, right?
Oh yeah.
Man, I like that. Yeah. Any other homestead upgrades you want to do this year?
Well, the only way you're not going to run out of fuel is if you have a natural gas well on your property.
Right. And I'm sure you've heard, I love natural gas.
Oh yeah. One of my buddies several years ago bought a property and built a house, and it had an old gas well on it.
Oh,
he tapped into it, had the guys come out and do everything. He runs his house off natural gas. He's got his fireplace, gas logs in there, his heat. He's cooking with natural gas, and he's got a backup gas generator too. I think he spent like $1,000 getting all that set up. I'm like, dude, you're amazing now.
I mean, where I live, of course, I'm on grid natural gas, so it's pumped in. I mean, it is exceptionally reliable, but there's always a chance something could happen, Yeah. But I was talking to a guy the other day, and I don't know if I'll ever get him to come on the show or not, but he was using natural gas with a Bitcoin miner, and he was an oil patch dude, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Because it was just the gas going out the flare stack. Because if anybody's never seen it before, you can drive at night here on the prairies and you will see flames going off in the sky. And that's the overpressure or the extra supply of natural gas that they have to deal with. So they burn it off. Yeah. So why not throw a generator in the middle of that and run something off it, Oh, I love it.
Yeah, no doubt.
So how do people find you, Jason? Where do they go to come to this? Oh, go ahead.
One other thing I forgot. I've got a greenhouse that I've got to build. So
nice. What do you want to do with that? I mean, I know you want to grow stuff, but what's your goal for this year with the greenhouse?
The goal is to get it built. We probably, by the time I get it done, it's probably going to be too cold to do anything. I'll have to see what the temperatures are going to run in it once I'm done. We might get some cold weather stuff out of there, but in the springtime we can do a lot of starts early in there and do it that way. And then in the fall, I mean, we can start earlier and then extend our season in that greenhouse.
How cold does it get in Kentucky or where you are?
It depends. I mean, this last winter we had several cold weeks, but a lot of time, like snow doesn't stick around. I mean, we'll get 2 to 3 inches of snow and it's gone in 24 hours.
Okay.
So it doesn't get and stay below freezing. Most of the time, I think the best I can remember, it stayed below freezing for maybe 3 days at a time.
So could you keep an outdoor greenhouse? You could keep it warmed up enough to run year round through it, could you? Or
it depends on how well you built it. I've got one of my friends, they're taking and getting replacement windows for their house.
Yep.
So she's giving me all the windows on her house. So we're going to have vinyl clad insulated windows on this greenhouse. So
beautiful.
That, and then we're going to do the insulated polycarbonate for a roof on it. Mm-hmm. So you get some kind of insulation value. So I doubt it would have to get real cold for it to get below freezing in that greenhouse.
And you could probably rotate crops too, where you went with the real cold weather crops during those kind of in between seasons, and then changed it up from there.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to try to do. We're going to see how cold it gets and see what we can do with it.
I'd like to hear about that. I'm so jealous of the people that it really doesn't get that cold. I mean, I know it gets cold, but I'm like, it's a tad different than. I mean, our leaves are maybe a tenth on the ground already here. So
it was 90 degrees here today.
Oh, geez. Well, yeah. I mean, it was, I don't know, 26 Celsius. So was that high 70s, low 80s, something like that. But it overnights are getting cold. We got down to 37 Fahrenheit the other night. So she's getting there.
Oh, yeah. It's only got down. I think it got down the other night, maybe to 58 the other night.
Okay.
It was about as low as we get. But it's going to start. I think this week we're going to be in the mid 80s for highs.
Okay.
So it'll still be nice. I like it when it's about 70, 75 for a high.
Me too.
My kind of weather.
Another 10 days I'll be head. So
yeah,
I run in at least once, or no. Oh, internet. Are we good? You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. You're glitching out
I think
a little bit.
I know. I'm telling you, I haven't had any internet problems for months. In the last week, something's going on. So am I okay now?
Yeah, you're good now.
Okay. Are you going to be at Self-Reliance Festival?
Yes, I'm coming down. I'll be down there Friday. I'll probably get down there Friday morning, hang out with everybody before the huge crowds get there, and then I'll be there Saturday. I've not decided if I'm going to stay Saturday night or not, just because we got so much stuff to do for our festival, because our festival's 2 weeks later. So I know we're still going to be putting out fires and getting everything planned for it. But I know I'll be down there Friday and Saturday.
Perfect. So how do people follow up with you, Jason? If they want to come or if they want to support you, what can they do?
If you want to come to the festival, is KentuckySustainableLiving.com is the website. One thing that would really help us out on planning it, we've got a thing. If you plan to attend, sign up for our email list. That just helps us know, because we're not selling tickets for it because it's a free event. So that helps us know how many people are going to be there so we can plan as far as food-wise and stuff like that. So that helps us. I've also got my YouTube channel, which is Kentucky Sustainable Living on YouTube. I've got TikTok, but I just kind of mess around on TikTok. So that and Instagram too. I can't seem like I don't get any traction on Instagram, so I just look at stuff on Instagram. But
I get it.
But yeah, visit the website. You can sign up for any of the classes at our website at KentuckySustainableLiving.com. And you can also, there's a link for the charity dinner there.
Well, thank you, brother. I appreciate you coming on again.
Always a good time.
Hopefully it won't be a year before I have you back. So
exactly.
And if I have it my way, at least I'll make it down your way, maybe in the spring,
We're gonna hold your feet to the fire for spring.
I know. I got a wife that I have to you know how it is. So,
Oh yeah.
no, we'll be good. If you want to hang around the back for a second there, I'll just close the show down.
All right, that'll work.
Guys, I hope you appreciate Jason. That dude is switched on. We haven't even met in real life yet. We've just had many conversations just like this. A couple of them recorded and many of them not recorded. So if you're looking for somebody to pick their brain on how to build a community, how to run an event, how to find a mutual assistance group where you can share knowledge, reach out to Jason. But more importantly, if you're within, a day's drive of Kentucky, get the hell up there. It doesn't cost you anything at all. Nothing. So show up, support him, spend some money, go to the event, support a good charity. And more than that, keep the money in these circular economies and keep it out of the pockets of those that would love to pillage everything that we have. So with that, guys, as always, stay happy, stay healthy, and have a great week.